Am I crazy for asking my parents to choose between me and their grandkids? I remember the exact moment I asked my parents to choose. The words slipped out almost by accident. You know, like when you've been holding something in for so long, the pressure of it finally just bursts. It wasn't a dramatic confrontation with shouting or storming off. There were no dramatic tears, no glass-shattering silence. But when I said it, I felt this sharp, horrifying sensation deep in my stomach. It was like I had cracked open something I couldn't put back together. Mom, Dad, you have to choose, either me or them. I can still hear my own voice, so raw and desperate. Maybe I was crazy for asking, or maybe I just couldn't take the slow erosion of my place in my own family anymore. I wish I could say I was calm, collected, and rational, but I wasn't. I was tired. Tired of waiting. Tired of asking, of being passed over, of feeling like an outsider in my own life. Before you judge me, let me tell you everything that led up to that moment. It wasn't just one thing, one incident. It was years of things building up, years of slowly being pushed aside while my brother's family took center stage. It started small, like little cracks in the foundation. You don't notice at first, but over time, those cracks grow. And eventually, they split the whole thing wide open. The first sign that things were changing came after I had my son. Becoming a mother was an emotional roller coaster. It was joyful, overwhelming, and terrifying all at once. I remember feeling like I was drowning in the new responsibilities, feeding him, making sure he was healthy, trying to balance work and motherhood. I thought my parents would be there to help me, to support me like they had supported my brother when he had his kids, but instead they became strangers to me. I didn't expect them to drop everything and dedicate all their time to me, but I did expect something more than what I was getting. I needed support. I needed them to show up. But instead, I got the feeling that their attention was constantly elsewhere. Always on the grandkids, always on my brother's family. It wasn't just the lack of help. It was the way it felt. The way they acted like I didn't even exist. It's hard to describe, but it was like I had become invisible. At first, I told myself it was just that they were getting older. I understood. I really did. They had earned their time with the grandkids. But then, the excuses started. They'd say, "We're busy with the grandkids this weekend. Maybe next time." Or, "Oh, we promised to take them to the zoo." And then it became every weekend. And every single time, I was left waiting. I wanted to be understanding, I did, but I needed them. I needed someone to see me for once, and I wasn't getting that. Then came Christmas. I invited them to spend the holiday with me and my son. It was supposed to be special. I was hoping we could finally make some memories, just the three of us. But when I asked, they said no. No, because they already made plans with my brother's kids. They said the kids would be disappointed if they didn't spend Christmas with them. I don't know why, but that was the moment that broke me. Maybe it was the coldness of their refusal. Maybe it was the thought that they couldn't even consider how I might feel. But it hit me like a slap in the face. I tried to hide the tears. I tried to smile and act like it was no big deal, but inside, I was crushed. It wasn't just the fact that they had chosen my brother's family. It was the fact that this had become normal. It wasn't a one-time thing. It was a pattern, a constant theme running through my life now. There were other little moments too. The birthday party I had for my son, and they didn't show up. The milestones I'd share, and they'd just gloss over them, distracted by something else. And each time I felt more and more alone. I tried talking to them about it. I tried to explain that I needed help, that I was struggling, but their response was always the same. "We can't do everything for you. We're just trying to be there for the grandkids." And that's when it hit me. It wasn't just about the grandkids. It wasn't about toys or trips to the park. It was about me. I was being replaced, and they didn't even realize it. And honestly, they didn't care. That's when I sent the text. I had been thinking about it for weeks. The idea had been sitting in the back of my mind like a dark cloud, waiting for the right moment to burst. But I didn't expect to actually say it out loud. You need to choose, either me or them, because right now it feels like there's no room for both. I immediately regretted it. The text had felt too final, too harsh. I thought I might have crossed a line that couldn't be undone. And the silence that followed was even worse than I imagined. I waited for a response, for something, anything. But it came the next day, and when I heard my mom's voice on the other end of the line, I almost wished I hadn't asked. "What do you want from us, Rachel?" You know how much we love the grandkids? You knew we'd be involved with them? This is just the way things are. I could feel her coldness through the phone, like she was putting up walls that I couldn't break down. And in that moment, I realized something that hurt more than anything else. I wasn't just being ignored, I was being dismissed. So I ask you, am I crazy for asking my parents to choose between me and their grandkids? Or was I just asking for the kind of love and attention every daughter deserves? I can't tell you the answer. I still don't know if I did the right thing, but I do know this. It was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. And now, every time I see my parents, I wonder if that moment was the point of no return. Did I shatter my family by asking for too much? Or did I simply speak up when no one else would?